Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and we're once again going to be taking a look at the map of the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores, which, yes, this map has been updated by Dead and Dying Retail just about 5 minutes ago. As of Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. So with the closure of the Sears Town Plaza Sears and Roebuck store located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, we are now down to 10 Kmart stores and 16 Sears and Roebuck stores. Combine both numbers together and you get approximately 26 non-liquidating Sears and Kmart stores. So this is the list on the Google Docs. So these are the following locations that are not liquidating and have not permanently closed. So we have the Kmart store in Tom, Guam, the Kmart store at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Miami, Florida, the Kmart store at the Delco Plaza Shopping Center in Avenel, New Jersey, which is the only Kmart store within the state of New Jersey to operate 7 days a week. The Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey, which is required to be closed on Sundays because of the Bergen County Blue laws that prevent the retailer from opening. And finally, the last Kmart on the mainland United States, it's the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. The other Kmart stores include the Kmart store at Plaza Las Americas Mall in Hato, Puerto Rico, the Kmart store at the Sunshine Mall in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, the Kmart store at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands, the Kmart store at the Lockhart Gardens Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. Now we get to Sears, which is about 16 locations. So we have these are all Sears and Roebuck stores, but I'm going to call them Sears for simplification purposes. So we have the Sears store at the Burbank Town Center in Burbank, California, the Sears store at the Sunny Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California, the Sears store at the Webstertown Mall in Stockton, California, the Sears store at the Whitwood Town Center in Whittier, California, the freestanding Sears store that opened in 1954 in Miami, Coral Gables, Florida, the Sears store at the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida, the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. We now have 3 given the closure of Fort Lauderdale. The Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. The Sears store at the Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland. The Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey, the Sears store at the Newburgh Mall in Newburgh, New York, the Sears Town Plaza at the Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, the Sears store at the Plaza Las Americas Mall in San Juan, Puerto Rico, the Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas, the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tuckaloosa, Washington, and finally, it's the Sears store at the Valley Mall in Union Gap, Washington. Permanent store closure on Friday, January 21st, 2022. The Sears Town Plaza Sears store in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Liquidating stores closing Sunday, March 6th, 2022 include the Kmart store at the Bitterroot Valley Shopping Center in Hamilton, Montana, and also the Sears store at the Willow Grove Park Mall in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. And then finally, liquidating store closing Sunday, March 13th, 2022. It's the Kmart store at the Key West Plaza Shopping Center in Key West, Florida. So now that we've gone over all the non-liquidating and liquidating locations on the list, let's go over the map of the non-liquidating. And again, this map was just updated less than 10 minutes ago, so I wanted to make this video as quick as possible. So we're going to start in the western Pacific Ocean near the Northern Marine Islands in Guam. Again, it's the Kmart store in Tom, Guam, just a couple of miles north of the Antonio B. Juan International Airport. This is one of 10 Kmarts left in the United States, and as I've said before, it is very likely that another store will be coming in, buy out the remaining lease on this Kmart location, and possibly do a Target or a Walmart. Really depends on who Transform Co. could strike a deal on. So. Okay, so now that we've viewed that Kmart location, we're going to go northeast a little bit across the Pacific Ocean, and we're going to hit Washington State. And the next store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington State, the last Sears store at a Westfield-owned mall in the United States of America. So definitely a significant, significant fact. So again, it's the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington State. Okay, and as we go a little bit southeast, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Valley Mall in Union Gap, Washington. Obviously, we will not be jumping over to Hamilton, Montana, due to the fact that store will be closing for the final time on Sunday, March 6th, 2022. However, we're taking a look currently at the Sears store at the Union Gap at the Valley Mall in Union Gap, Washington State. Okay, and as we move down the Pacific coast of the United States, the next Sears store that we're going to hit in the state of California, just between the major cities of San Francisco and San Jose, California, it's the Sears store in Concord, California, at the Sun Valley. It's the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California. Okay, and then a couple miles east of the Sun Valley Mall in Concord, California, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's located in Stockton, California, and it's at the Webstertown Mall in Stockton, California. So another significant, only 2 Sears stores left that remain in the greater Sacramento, San Jose, and San Francisco area. Okay, and as we move down the Pacific coast, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the two remaining Sears locations in the greater Los Angeles area. The first store that we're going to hit, it's the last one connected to a mall in the greater Los Angeles area, and it's the Sears store at the Burbank Town Center in Burbank, California. Okay, so the next store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the the Sears store at the Whitwood Town Center in Whittier, California. So one of 2 remaining Sears stores left in the greater Los Angeles area. So, and this is the last freestanding. Well, I mean, it was connected to a mall, but it's one of the last remaining freestanding Sears stores within the state of California because the rest of them are connected to a shopping mall. So. Okay, and as we move across the Sunbelt region of the United States, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas. The last Sears store within the state of Texas. Obviously, the reason for this store being still open, Sears Mexico basically is keeping this location open, fortunately. So Sears Mexico could very well buy this location if they really wanted to, which I'm sure Sears United States is already in talks with Sears Mexico for Sears Mexico to actually buy out this particular location, given its close proximity to the United States-Mexico border, as you can clearly see on the map that was created by Dead and Dying Retail. Okay, so now we're going to go down, and then we're going to actually make our way up the east coast of the United States. And so we're going to start out with the United States Virgin Islands. So we have this Kmart store. This Kmart store does have a pharmacy as well as a Little Caesars Pizza, and it's the Kmart store at the Mall of St. Croix in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. And again, it's at the Mall of St. Croix in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. And it has a Kmart pharmacy as well as a Little Caesars, the guy that does pizza in the commercials. Okay, and then the other Kmart store on St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, it's located at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. This one does not have a Kmart pharmacy. However, this one also has a Little Caesars Pizza like the previous Kmart did. Okay, moving on. So now we're going to go to the other United States Virgin Islands, just a couple miles northwest. And the next Kmart stores that we're going to hit is on the St. Thomas United States Virgin Islands. With the first Kmart store that we're going to take a look at, it's located at the Lockhart Garden Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. And this one does not have a Little Caesars, nor does this Kmart have a Kmart pharmacy. But however, the other Kmart on St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands does. And we're going to take a look at that location right now. And again, this is the Kmart store at the Lockhart Garden Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. Okay, so the other Kmart store, it's at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. This has a Kmart pharmacy as well as a Little Caesars, the guy that does pizza, and it's the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. Okay, so next we're going to move over to Puerto Rico, as I actually forgot to do these locations the last time, so I do apologize if I missed it the last time around, but I'm going to get it this time around. So the first Kmart store, it's the Kmart store at the Plaza Las Americas Shopping Center in Hato Puerto Rico, and literally directly across the street, we have the Sears store at the Plaza Las Americas Mall in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So this must be on the border of Hato and San Juan, Puerto Rico. So both are literally located in the same parking lot. I don't know which one's going to close first, but we shall see what happens. But again, these are both the last Sears and Kmart stores in the United States territory of Puerto Rico. So pretty significant and pretty interesting given the fact that they're literally both directly across the street from each other. Okay, so obviously now that we've seen both the Sears and Kmart store, the last two remaining Sears and Kmart stores in Puerto Rico, both a single unit in Puerto Rico, Sears and Kmart. We're going to start going up the East Coast, starting off with Florida. Obviously, given that Key West is closing Sunday, March 13th, 2021. I'm sorry, Sunday, March 13th, 2022. There is only one Kmart store left in Florida, and it's the Kmart store at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Miami, Florida. From what I hear about this particular Kmart location, it is just used for online and distribution, given that there is both a Target store and a Walmart store just a couple of miles west of this Kmart location. So this Kmart location, once this does go, this will be the end of Kmart within Florida. Again, this is the last Kmart store that is not liquidating in Florida, and it's at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Miami, Kendall Lakes, Florida. Okay, so the next Sears store that we're going to hit in Miami, it's basically it's the last freestanding Sears store in the fleet. This store opened up. It's the Sears store in Coral Gables, Miami, Florida, the last freestanding Sears store within the state of Florida, as well as being the oldest Sears store in the fleet, opening in this location in 1954. So definitely old and definitely significant, and it's probably the oldest Sears in the entire Sears fleet. So again, it's the Sears store in Coral Gables, Miami, Florida. Okay, and given obviously the closure of Fort Lauderdale, given that the developer has bought out the property and they are going to put apartments in there, so there is no more Sears store in Fort Lauderdale. Inventory will probably be split between Miami and Palm Beach Gardens, with probably some of the inventory going to the Kmart in Kendall Lakes as well. So Coral Gables and Kendall Lakes is probably where most of Fort Lauderdale Sears inventory will be going. Okay, and as we go up the coast of Florida, given that Fort Lauderdale closure, the only other Sears store along the coast, the east coast of Florida, it's the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Okay, and as we make our way up the East Coast, the next Sears store that we're going to hit just outside of Walt Disney World, SeaWorld Orlando, and Universal Orlando Resort rather. It's the Sears store at the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida. Last Sears store in the central region of Florida. Once this Sears store does unfortunately shut down, that will be the end of Sears' presence in the central region of the state of Florida. Okay, and as we make our way up the East Coast, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is the last Searstown store, and that is very unfortunate that it's the last one, unfortunately. Yeah, it's so very unfortunate that this is the last Searstown in the fleet, and again, it's the Sears store at the Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay, and as we make our way up the East Coast, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland. This is the last Sears store within the state of Maryland, as the previous Sears store I checked out, that was the last Sears store within the state of North Carolina. So these both stores are definitely significant. It's the last ones in their each state. And again, this is the Sears store at the Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland. Okay, and obviously, given the closure of the Willow Grove Park Mall, Sears in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, the next store that we're going to hit, it's the Kmart store at the Delco Plaza Shopping Center in Avenel, New Jersey. This is the last Kmart store in the central region of New Jersey, last Kmart within the state of New Jersey to operate 7 days a week. That's going to be tomorrow. This is the only Kmart that will be open tomorrow within the state of New Jersey, and this is the last Kmart store in Middlesex County, New Jersey. So definitely lots of lasts for that Kmart store. Okay, and as we make our way over to Manhattan, the last one in the major metro area of Manhattan, just right near New York City, it's the Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey, which is my home state, and this is the last Sears store within my home state, which it's amazing and has dodged so many closings. But I know it's inevitable at this point for this Sears location, unfortunately. And again, it's the Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey. Okay, and as we go quickly over to Long Island, we only have a couple more locations to hit. It's the Kmart store out in the Hamptons of Long Island, and this is the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. This was known as the Martha Stewart Kmart due to the fact that she had I believe she had an estate out in the Hamptons, and she would make appearances here. Obviously, they don't sell any Martha Stewart merchandise now at Kmart and Sears. It can mostly be found. Typically now, any Martha Stewart merchandise can now be found at Macy's. That's probably why the Macy's in the Hamptons still stays open, given that Martha Stewart, I'm sure, does special appearances at that particular location. Who knows? But I just know that they used to sell Martha Stewart merchandise at both Kmart and Sears. That now has since been, or at least the contract rather, to exclusively sell Martha Stewart merchandise is with Macy's, I believe. So no more Martha Stewart merchandise at either Sears or Kmart. So again, this is the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. This is the last Kmart store within the state of New York, unfortunately. And speaking of last store within the state of New York, that leads us right into our. Before we actually get up there, the next Kmart store that we're going to hit from Bridgehampton, it's the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey. This store is the last Kmart store in North Jersey. This Kmart store is unfortunately required to be closed tomorrow because of the Bergen County Blue laws that prevents all non-essential retailers from operating on a Sunday. So definitely sad and definitely significant. So, and again, it's the Kmart store, Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey, right along New Jersey Transit's Pascagoula Valley line. While the Avenel one is near the North Jersey coastline of New Jersey Transit. Okay, so now that we've gone over that Kmart location, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's right near Stewart International Airport and right near I-84 and I-87. It's the Sears store at the Newburgh Mall in Newburgh, New York. This store has yet to announce a closing, but that could very well change in the next couple of weeks or so. Who knows? We've seen closings. This one could be next. Who knows? Okay, and the final Sears store to take a look at, it's the Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. This is the last Sears store within the New England region of the United States, as well as being the last Sears store within the state of Massachusetts. So definitely sad and definitely significant. So, but anyways, so. And again, Sears store, South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. All right, so guys, that is the updated map of the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart locations. If I do hear any other further updates on store closings, I will let you guys know. And thanks again for Dead and Dying Retail for updating the map. I really do appreciate you guys for updating the map of the latest store count of non-liquidating Sears and Kmart locations. It's very important that it's being stayed on top of, because there's always a location that could be closing. So it's good to see that they're staying on top of the closures. Fortunately, to keep track of the latest news and everything. So I really do appreciate that. And Yeah, so anyways, credit goes to Dead and Dying Retail for creating this map, and it's a very helpful map, and I do recommend using this map to visit all or to look at all the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Links will be in the description below, and that will be it.